Hello and welcome. This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We are live in Abuja. I am Chinenye Nwoye. Remember, you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at www.nta.ng/live and on all our social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. President Bola Tinubu has promised that his administration will continue to support Nigerians to succeed in their legitimate endeavors anywhere they choose to live in the world, as long as they remain good ambassadors of the country. The president was speaking while addressing Nigerians residents in St. Lucia. State House correspondent Musbao Danwahab reports.
Actually, when we heard that you were coming, we said, "You're coming to small St. Lucia?" You want to know how busy we have been for the past 1 week because our president is coming. So we are so glad.
The excitement got to the highest point for Oluwagbemisola Ogunlusi, a practicing medical doctor in St. Lucia. Since a sojourn of about 20 years in the Caribbean island, no Nigerian leader has ever visited. Now, she says President Tinubu's visit has increased their rating and recognition in the country.
Your coming has done so much. Many St. Lucians love Africa, love Nigeria. They always tell us, we want to go back with you home, we want to go. So you have, propagated Nigeria more than what they know before. So areas of concern.
Smart, Dua, and others here also shared the feeling. But then, they were equally eager to capitalize on the presence of the president to address their long-existing issues, which they highlighted to include high cost of work permits, lack of government representation in the country, and the vulnerability of Nigerians schooling in St. Lucia.
They came down to study, and for some reasons the school are no longer functioning, and there have not been any way to resolve their issues, even regarding getting the qualifications that they've paid for and getting their papers after studying.
Even in the face of all the challenges mentioned, President Tinubu is proud of the Nigerians here for being good representatives of the country across their chosen fields in St. Lucia. As he enjoined them to continue to protect the image of Nigeria here and across the world, he promised to deploy diplomatic means where necessary to address the issues raised.
We are not going to abandon you as our citizens. We are going to work hard to ensure that you remain a citizen of value to your country, or a citizen even with the DNA of Nigeria in the country of your choice.
Regarding development in Nigeria, the president recounted the socio-economic situation he met and the reforms he has instituted to reset the economy. And now, he assures them of much improved economy for the country.
Nigeria has recovered. I can assure you. It's joining the league of a free economy that is looking up, not looking down. The growth is around 4% per year.
This has been very impactful. The Nigerians here are so excited. This is historical. It's never happened before. And it's going to also impact on their relationship of Nigerians here in St. Lucia with the authorities. And I'm so proud of what we've heard here about Nigerians here. Even the Prime Minister said it. And the good thing is that these Nigerians are also doing things back home.
Within the short notice ahead of this visit, Doris Somtom-Chukwu Nsiobodo, a medicine student here, displayed her talents with painting of a presidential facial portrait. From Castres, St. Lucia, Musbao and Wahab, NT News.
The House of Representatives is calling for urgent military intervention to secure lives and property of Nigerians subjected to terrorist attacks in Adamawa and Zamfara states. Sequel to motions of urgent national importance, lawmakers at Thursday's plenary raised concerns on the lack of adequate security presence in Madagali local government area of Adamawa state, leading to sustained attacks on residents.
A national concern that just yesterday, the communities of Dar and Pambula in Madagali area were attacked by unknown gunmen, resulting in gruesome killing of at least 5 people and kidnapping of an unknown number of people that went to their farm and couldn't come back home. Further note that this horrific attack followed a pattern of repeated violence, terror, and lawlessness inflicted on my people, who have now been forced to flee their homes in fear.
The people of Gumi and Bukuim local government areas of Zamfara State are currently at the mercy of bandits due to non-intervention by security forces. Believe that urgent intervention by security forces is needed to restore hope to the people of Gumi and Bukuim local government areas of Zamfara State.
I want to add that we urge all security agencies to adapt, and deploy technology as a way of gathering intelligence. If it's happening here, it's happening there, we don't have enough men to send. If we deploy technology to gather intelligence, I think and I believe that it would help us.
Humanitarian assistance for communities affected by devastating storm in Gabi federal constituency.
The storm took more than 5 lives, left more than 20 persons hospitalized, damaged more than 65 electric poles with line cables, properties worth more than 850 million naira destroyed, and several people displaced.
Motorists plying Abuja Kaduna Kano Highway will soon have a cause to smile, barely a month after the takeover of the construction of the dual carriageway by a new contractor, with quality and durability assured. National Assembly correspondent Issa Mohammed reports that the assurance came when the Joint Committee paid an unscheduled visit to the project.
Abuja Kaduna Kano dual carriage road is flourishing with promising quality and appreciable pace at the site of ongoing construction work on the road by the new contracting firm. The Joint Committee on Works expressed satisfaction with quality of work, but cautioned the contractor on meeting deadline and other contractual specifications.
There are more still Nigerians that we are getting it right now under President Tinubu. This road, if constructed, successive governments will not come again to do. It is on record that asphalt roads normally fail within 10 to 20 years.
We are checking the actual thickness and the quality of the job, and we want to reiterate our commitment towards the schedule. This project is going to be done within the time limit.
The project is in phases, as highlighted by the Federal Ministry of Works.
Section 1 has 3 components: the part that's on concrete, the part on asphalt, and then the overlay.
The Abuja Kaduna section is 40.45 kilometer length, while that of Kaduna Zaria Kano section is 73 kilometer length, asphaltic concrete binding and wearing, with duration of 14 months completion period. In Abuja, Issa Muhammad, NTA News.
Lagos is our first port of call on nationwide, and Adeola is standing by to bring us the stories from that zone. Hello, Adeola. It's over to you.
Naya. A safe and secure learning environment is panacea to guarantee consistent school enrollment in the country. In view of this, a stakeholders forum was organized by the Nigeria Police Force to address security risk in schools. Lynn Neneke reports that the event, which held in Lagos, focused on training specialized protection squads for schools.
In recent years, Nigeria has grappled with rise in security challenges, including kidnappings, homicides, and the destruction of school infrastructure.
Security resilience.
Recognizing this critical threat, the Nigerian Police School Protection Squads and other relevant stakeholders are changing this narrative by safeguarding students, teachers, and non-teaching staff from attacks nationwide.
As part of this initiative, training program will be instituted for educators, administrators, and security personnel, and will in turn leverage on the acquired skills to recognize and respond to security threats.
We shall continue to support and strengthen security in the state for peaceful cohabitation.
Let us leverage this engagement to strengthen our partnerships, innovative collective solutions, and reaffirm our shared commitment to the present and future generations.
The pervasive nature of these negative occurrences has left many students traumatized. Equipping them with the requisite knowledge on how to respond during emergencies is therefore critical.
When there is an attack, I will run and not walk, and I will run for my dear life and tell any police officer nearby.
Interactive sessions at the recent forum examined the vital role of security agencies and community partnerships in safeguarding schools, particularly in Lagos State.
They are vessels to be fed across board, both the rural, the riverine, and all other areas of Lagos State.
It's widely believed that through these collaborative efforts, the forum's theme of strengthening security resilience and integration of host communities in the protection of education will be successfully achieved. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
Experts within the taxation system have described the harmonized tax law as one of the major pillars of economic transformation by the present administration, designed to propel economic growth by an additional 5% by year 2026. Amaka Owo captured experts' views, says the new law is perceived as people-centric reforms.
Lagos is said to be the commercial hub of Nigeria, with over 50 million informal businesses operating across the state, according to reports from the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN. Industry players within the tax ecosystem have identified the well-crafted 4 tax laws established by the present administration as a stimulant that will propel the expansion of medium and small-scale enterprises.
If you have a business, and before now, if you, like for instance, I give you an instance, a gentleman who's into piggery says that he pays tax on the number of pigs that he had to some villagers. He pays tax when the pigs are slaughtered and are taken to the market. He pays taxes when this market, he pays taxes. Different form of nuisance tax. All of that has been eradicated.
So tax ombudsman will bring new lease of life into how small businesses are supported in defending their rights, and at the end of the day, the fiscal landscape will be better off.
Tax consultant and experts say the 6 months window period for implementation of the new tax code is projected to attract 5% growth into the Nigerian economy.
But it will also make it easier for large companies. I mean, the large companies that we think about, consumer good companies or oil and gas companies, that they're in a better tax environment. So it's great news for the country, and all credit to the administration.
This is mid-year. There is a running budget, and also tax compliance duties. And business planning, tax plan is on annual basis. So the commencement of the act in January 2026 is well thought out.
The present harmonization and exemptions contained in the tax laws, experts say, will stem the tide of varying issues such as tax evasion. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Lagos. Our next port of call will be Maiduguri, but that will be when we return from this break.
Welcome to Maiduguri. Glad to have you join us. Vice President Kashin Shettima has condoled with the families of late Baba Gana Tijani Banki and late Baba Taha in Maiduguri. Mohamed Goni reports.
The Vice President, who arrived from Maiduguri on Wednesday, 2nd July at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, first visited the bereaved family of late Baba Gana Tijani Banki, where he commiserated with them and prayed for the departed soul. Baba Gana Banki, a one-time member of the House of Representatives between 1999 and 2011, also served as Borno State Commissioner under Kashim Shettima administration. The Vice President also paid similar visits to the family of late Babagana Taha at 777 Housing Estate, Maiduguri. The deceased who died after a brief illness was a former permanent secretary in the Borno State Civil Service. The Vice President prayed for repose of the deceased soul and family to bear the irreparable loss. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
The Borno State government, in collaboration with the Nigerian Navy and support from the Lechard province government and other partners, has officially launched the dredging of Lechard waterways at the Baga Fish Dam in Baga Town. The dredging exercise seeks to restore the historic economic viability of the Lechard region, which suffered significantly due to years of insurgency. Umar Jabarima reports.
Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, represented by his deputy Umar Usman Kadafur, described the project as a major step towards reviving the region's economy as well as strengthening security and rebuild the livelihoods of multitude of inhabitants affected by insurgency. The deputy governor highlighted the historic significance of Lechard as a lifeline for communities, providing income and sustenance through various economic activities. Borno State government expressed appreciation to the Nigerian Navy for its vital role in the dredging exercise.
Today, we are turning a new page. The flag off of this waterways clearance operation is not merely about dredging. It is about dredging hope, dredging opportunity, and dredging a path towards sustainable economic recovery for our people.
Commander, Multinational Joint Task Force, Major General Godwin Michael Mudkut, commended the higher authorities in Borno and Lechard province for their continued support in combating insurgency. Lechard province governor, on his part, had judged the project as the beginning of a new era, while Emir Yusuf Bandu Bani praised the collaborative efforts of the government and security agencies. In Maiduguri, Umar Jimbarima, NTA News.
Those are the trending stories from the Home of Peace. Nationwide continues in Abuja. To stay with us.
Much. Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has donated 1 billion naira towards improving lives of vulnerable groups in Plateau State. This is in addition to the presentation of food items to 1,800 households. Ndeyang Adeyaba Jang reports.
The Renewed Hope Initiative has since 2024 launched various empowerment support schemes towards impacting the lives of vulnerable groups, especially women and those living with disabilities. One of such is the Food Outreach Scheme, a major component of human survival. So far, 13 states have been covered. Beneficiaries of the program in Plateau State were emotional as the wife of the Vice President, Nana Shettima, handed over food items to the wife of the Plateau State Governor for onward distribution to the beneficiaries.
The show of love we appreciate. During times like this, she has showed she's indeed a mother.
I'm feeling very happy for this rise.
Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, while calling for an end to the incessant killings in parts of the state, donated 1 billion naira to support internally displaced persons.
I want to come to Plateau to enjoy the tourism. Let our children enjoy this. That's why I came to just appeal to you. Whatever it takes, bring peace to this land.
One thing I'd like to assure you that by the grace of God, the 3 decades of crisis and violence on the Plateau, that by the grace of God, it must come to an end.
Other stakeholders lauded the benevolence of the First Lady and appealed for sustained efforts at tackling security challenges in parts of the state. In Jos, Indenyan, and Diabagyang, NTA News.
The National Orientation Agency is set to launch a flagship peace campaign under the national initiative Pathway to National Cohesion, Development and Unity, designed to tackle urban youth restiveness, increasing migrants influx and growing housing pressure in the FCT. A statement by the FCT Directorate of the NOA, Acharu Oparua, indicates that the campaign will deploy a multifaceted strategy to foster social cohesion, peaceful coexistence, and inclusive development across the FCT. Campaigns will also be held across the 6 area councils of the FCT with town hall meetings, grassroots dialogues, and faith-based community engagement. It will be tailored to the peculiar realities of Abuja's rapidly urbanizing and demographically dynamic communities. We'll now join Kinsley in Port Harcourt to tell us about the reconciliation of key political actors in that axis. Hello, Kinsley. What is the general outlook in the state in view of this reconciliation?
Well, of course, we would like to inform you that here in Port Harcourt and, of course, River State at large, there is this high spirit, especially since after the latest mediation into the crisis by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that saw the key leading political actors accept to reconcile and work for the progress of the state. Across parts of the state, there is this positive acceptance by the majority of the people of River State. The rationale behind this is the fact that over time, within the period of this emergency rule, a number of things have been affected, and when it comes to economic activity, social cohesion, that have been impacted negatively, many want to see the restoration of democratic institutions. At this time, lessons from this experience, the need for team building among especially the followers of the political leaders in River State, that this resolution of this crisis will be sustainable such that there will be no need for any further misgiving or mistrust among the leadership in the state. And away from that, there are those within the community levels who saw this as a welcome development, given that a number of projects have also been stalled in the course of this emergency administration. And for many who look forward to the restoration of democratic institutions in River State, they hope that this in aggregate will redirect the state on the path of progress, development, and of course, blessing to the people of River State. The lessons learned so far for many is that within this period of emergency administration, they have seen the need for people to agree and work collectively for the overall interests of Rivers people.
A chieftain of the Governing All Progressives Congress, APC, and the Director General of the Confederation of APC Support Groups, Professor Kalina Mohammed, says for quality leadership to emerge in governance, the people at the grassroots must actively participate in the process. He was speaking immediately after a caucus meeting with leadership of some groups from Niger State, where he urged them to intensify awareness on voter education, deepen internal democracy at the grassroots, and support the efforts of security forces in combating crimes.
Many electorates were disenfranchised because they couldn't come out to vote because of insecurity. All those warlords, they have taken over some of the section of the states.
It is primarily getting it right, politically speaking, the ongoing democratic process. It's not limited to 2027. It's a continuous thing. It is a responsibility we're taking upon ourselves, believing that democracy is very constructive.
Part of the major things we do is that we go into the grassroots to sensitize the people on the need to vote, on the need to be registered. You don't just sit down and say, I'm not a partisan person. You must register. You must vote.
Of Confederation of APC support groups commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for keeping track with his transformation blueprints and appealed for consideration to serve the nation. To further cement the relationship between the Asaba Royal Palace and the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Asaba, the Asaba of Asaba, Professor Epiphany Azinge, has fulfilled his promise to purchase a digital camera to aid the operations of the station. The Asaba made the presentation to the General Manager, Christy Badong, and her management team in his palace. Helen Dunku reports.
Sony PXW-Z90V 4K HD compact camera began when the General Manager, Christy Badong, resumed duty in Asaba and paid homage to the throne of the Asaba. Asaba Professor Epiphany Azinge commended the NTA for attaching a correspondent to cover the cultural heritage and traditional programs of his people.
May this lighten up Asaba. Amen. May this lighten up Delta. Amen. May this lighten up Nigeria. Amen.
Sign of integrity that when promises are made, they are kept. It is something that we have done joyfully, and I hope that it will serve the purpose. I hope that we will use it to the glory of God and the service of humanity.
I stand here before all of you to appreciate you for your kind gesture, genuine love for the NTA, and your deep understanding of the workings of the media. It takes one that appreciates and values the impact of the media on the society to do what our dear royal father has done here today.
The camera is dedicated to the service of humanity. In Asaba, Helen Dunku, NTA News.
Enugu Network Center is next on our lineup, and Chika Okorie is waiting to bring us the next set of reports on Nationwide. Hello, Chika. It's good to see you.
And this is Enugu Network Center. Addressing the challenges of cleft care requires a multidisciplinary approach, collaboration among healthcare professionals, and efforts to increase awareness and access to care. These significant approaches were raised at the 6th Scientific Conference of the Nigerian Association of Cleft Lip and Palate in Enugu. Chika Ugu is a guide.
The 6th Scientific Conference of the National Association for Cleft Lip and Palate is focused on providing a decisive framework to address the challenges and controversies in comprehensive cleft care to ensure safe, timely, and equitable cleft treatment for every child.
Awareness, education is needed, so that people will know that this is available and the treatment is relatively free.
We are primarily doing that in tandem with the goals of Mr. President, the New Hope Agenda for Health, which mandates hospital to emphasize capacity building, emphasize training, emphasize research, and thereby reversing medical tourism.
Enugu State government, according to the Commissioner for Health, is prioritizing quality health care delivery to the people with continuous focus on cleft care health planning and policy.
The Ministry of Health continually wants to work with you to ensure that the information about where these services are made available, that we can have it, and then through our health promotion units and our health education services, we will continue to broadcast to people.
It is the consensus of the association that addressing these challenges will improve outcomes and quality of life for individuals affected by cleft lip and palates, ensuring that they receive the comprehensive care they deserve. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
The need for universities to invest in sustainable development and innovative projects dominated discussion at a conference on achieving sustainable development goals in Africa, organized by the Faculty of Management Sciences, Enugu State University of Science and Technology. Chimaroke Ugu's report is presented.
The conference had as its theme Achieving the Sustainable Development Goals in Africa, Management, Strategies and Practices for Sustainable Development, Corporate Social Responsibility, Environmental Sustainability and Entrepreneurship. Speakers at the conference highlighted Africa's unique challenges of poverty, hunger and inequality, while emphasizing the need for focused strategies to address these challenges.
Also to succeed in sustainable development goals, we have to start education. Ignorance is a problem. I join us as people in this millennium who have opportunity to sharpen our skills to compete with our peers in the developed world, to take advantage of the situation. The conference highlights the importance of sustainable development and provides actionable recommendations for policymakers.
Executive Secretary, Financial Council of Nigeria, represented, highlighted the indispensable need for financial accountability as a foundational element for successfully realizing the Sustainable Development Goals.
Effective environmental management is not optional. It requires investment in sustainable agriculture, water management systems, community-based initiatives.
Vice Chancellor, Enugu State University of Science and Technology, represented, while describing the conference as apt, said it has the potential to significantly foster human development.
The essence is to enrich our knowledge, is to help us to understand from experts, people who know more than us.
The conference had in attendance diverse range of stakeholders, including the academia, government, finance experts, as well as policy formulators.
That's all we have from here, and after this break, the news continues in Makurdi. Stay with us.
Still watching nationwide, and welcome to Makurdi. The Benue State government has taken delivery of food and non-food relief materials from the Hydropower Producing Area Development Commission Hyperdeck for onward distribution to victims of banditry attacks in the state. Acting Managing Director of the Commission, Jimo Haruna Gabi, handed over the items to the Deputy Governor, Sam Ode, at the SEMA office in Makurdi. Charles Abba reports.
Items delivered to the Benue State government by the Hydropower Producing Area Development Commission, Hyperdeck, for onward transmission to the victims of attacks in the state include mattresses, mosquito nets, bags of grains, rice, gallons of palm oil, cartons of detergents, Maggi, and motorcycles. Acting Managing Director, Hyperdeck, Jimo Haruna Gabi, who sympathized with the state for the serial attacks, emphasized the need to beef up surveillance to nip emerging banditry in the board.
I'm sure the state government will know how to judiciously use this little to improve and beef up security efforts to repel any attack.
The Deputy Governor, Sam Ode, who lamented the recent carnages in the state, expressed appreciation for the various interventions by Hyperdeck in the state and pledged the government's commitment to do all in its power to get rid of the menace.
In the future, we'll work with you as a state so that we can plan on the issues of disaster management. We should not only be responding when it occurs.
It will be recalled that a number of communities have recently been invaded by suspected bandits, the latest being Yewata. Charles Abba, NTA News.
The need to improve and sustain timely funding of the Nigerian Air Force to ensure its operational readiness to defend the territorial integrity of the nation has been re-emphasized. Chairman Representatives House Committee on the Air Force, Kabiru Al-Hassan, stated this during an oversight function at the Tactical Air Command Headquarters, Nigerian Air Force, Makurdi. Charles Abba again reports that the chairman was represented by the Deputy Chairman, Air Vice Marshal Ojoawo Ronald, retired.
the first salute to the Chairman's House Committee on the Air Force as the members are being received by the Air Officer Commanding Tactical Air Command, Nigerian Air Force, Makurdi, Air Vice Marshal Patrick Obeya.
Your visit is not only timely, but critical, particularly as Tactical Air Command continues to serve as the operational nerve center of the Nigerian Air Force, tasked with executing air operations in support of national defense and internal security.
Chairman, Rep House Committee on the Air Force, represented, indicated that the Air Force has continued to demonstrate commitment in tackling security challenges in the country. He stressed the need for robust funding of the command and welfare for the operatives to support them to effectively and efficiently discharge their duties.
The budgeting processing, the provision of funding for this system, we believe that the envelope system is not really going to serve the Air Force, especially because of the kind of equipment they operate, the kind of equipment they will need, and their logistics support is enormous, and it's a lot of money for them to be able to be efficient and effective the way Nigerians will want them to be.
The representatives team had earlier been to Kano, Kaduna, and Maiduguri. Charles Abba, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Makurdi. It's back to Chinenye in Abuja.
Many thanks, Fatima, in our Makurdi Network Center. And from Makurdi, we take you to Kogi State. Until recently, in several parts of Amba local government of Kogi State were on the verge of being completely lost to gully erosions in the area. The state government is, however, changing the narrative through erosion control projects in the area and other parts of Kogi State. We now join Jonathan Omajili at the Ministry of Environment and Ecological Management for an update on government efforts to address gully erosion in Amba and other parts of the state. Hello, Jonathan. You were in Amba during the inspection and you spoke with some residents. How is this project impacting the people, and what has been their reaction to the progress so far?
Well, one thing I can tell you is the fact that if the government had not stepped up efforts in controlling this erosion, by now the rainy season would have been a nightmare instead of a blessing to the people. We are talking about a problem that has lasted for about 25 years. Several of them have lost homes, lost ancestral lands, and there have been a lot of harrowing experiences. In fact, there's a story about an elderly woman that fell into one of the gullies and tragically lost her life. And so what they are experiencing today is like a miracle to them because some of the lands that they thought had been lost forever are being reclaimed. Erosion is also being channelized. And of course, it's not only in Lokoja that we are experiencing this. It's across the 3 senatorial district in Kaba. The same is happening as well as in Okene. And so it's good news, and the people are excited about efforts of the government. It's in collaboration with the federal government and the World Bank. In Ankpa, for instance, it's already 60% completed. And the expectation is that in no time, everything will be recovered, lands recovered, and people resettled.
Okay, Jonathan, what can you tell us about the current situation of the project-affected persons?
Yes, of course, that was one of the first aspects that the government had to take care of. In fact, those who were affected by the project were compensated and also resettled. The government had to take care of that before starting the project. Those who had houses demolished or whose lands were taken over, just to ensure that the project goes on, we are duly compensated. Today, there is no complaint from any of them. Either in Ankpa, Kaba, or Okene, all of them have been well compensated.
Okay, thank you so much, Jonathan, for that update. Now, a 15-member committee has been inaugurated to interface on the possible ways of revitalizing Niger Cement factory in Nkalagu, Ebonyi State, which has been lying fallow for decades now. The move is to actualize the industrialization drive of government with a view to ending unemployment and boost economy. Caleb Obonna reports.
Jasem, the first cement factory in Nigeria, established in 1954 in Nkalagu but privatized in 2002 under President Olusegun Obasanjo's regime, made Mr. Cletus Ibeto to become the majority shareholder. For years now, the company has been moribund, which negates the industrialization and economic drive of government. To change this narrative and revitalize the company, Governor Francis Nwifuru constituted and inaugurated a 15-member committee to liaise with the company in this regard.
Sit down with Ibeto and tell Ibeto that we are interested to start this Niger cell. It's either you are ready or your hands off. That place can't be lying for like that. Just tell him, are you saying that if from this to this, that this did not start, that Ebonyi State should take over this place? Then if that is agreed, let's put it in writing.
First indigenous cement company in this country, but which today is a shadow of whatever the founding fathers who created it. It is a call to serve the state. And I think you looked at integrity more.
The company, if revitalized, will help boost employment efforts of government as well as revenue generation. In Abakaliki, Caleb Obonna, NTA News.
The federal government, through the National Agricultural Development Fund, has mobilized 19 billion naira to facilitate the cultivation of 4 major crops in the country. Musa Baba Aliyu reports that the initiative will provide 50% subsidies on seeds, fertilizers, and agrochemicals to support farmers.
The initiative, championed by the National Agricultural Development Fund, aims to boost national production of 4 priority crops: rice, maize, cassava and soybeans across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. 50,000 farmers will participate in the first phase of the program, receiving a 50% discount on all inputs required for cultivation. To ensure effective service delivery, monitoring and evaluation software has been developed for the project.
Knowing that end-to-end supervision of a project is crucial for us as a fund, as we require that, as such, we require all consultants to adhere to the framework developed and utilize the NADF M&E platform to collect, analyze, and report data.
Dr. Olare Waju provided a breakdown of the project, explaining that the National Agricultural Development Fund will fully fund input by supplying them through processors who manage farmers under their outgrower schemes.
With the NADF, their approach is basically focused on monitoring and evaluation. They want to ensure that the distribution of inputs from beginning to the end is fully tracked and traceable, whereby the impact on the farmer and the productivity is also quantified.
The project is set to commence this planting season and will extend to cover the 2025-2026 dry season farming period. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Troops of the Nigerian military have arrested suspects linked to the kidnap of the area commander, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in Anambra State. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kanye, who announced this in a news conference in Abuja, said troops of Operation Udoka apprehended the suspects.
3 suspects identified as Emeka Ede, Okodili, Aja, and Onyembochi, Aja, were arrested. Intelligence report has it that the suspect masterminded the kidnapping of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency commander of Anambra State Command. Items recovered from them were assorted weapons and large cache of ammunition, as well as illicit drugs.
Our defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that 11 suspected logistics suppliers and collaborators were also arrested in Borno and Yobe states between April and June 2025. 1,991 terrorists were apprehended, 682 terrorists and their families surrendered, while 174 illegal refining sites were destroyed. Similarly, troops of Operation Delta Safe foiled oil theft worth more than 3 billion naira. And up next is Sport Update with Bright Ebuchue.
The Confederation of African Football (CAF) has officially approved the MKO Abiola International Stadium in Abeokuta, Ogun State as a venue for the upcoming Under-17 West African Football Union Zone B Championship. This approval came after a joint evaluation by officials from CAF and WAFU, who verified that the stadium meets all necessary standards for international events. Elsewhere, the Executive Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation has prolonged the terms of the current boards for the Nigerian Premier Football League, Nigerian National League, and Nigerian Nationwide League One until the conclusion of the current NFF administration, which is overseen by Ibrahim Gusso, whose term lasts until September 29, 2026. Meanwhile, Portuguese players were devastated ahead of their Women's Euro 2025 match against Spain on Thursday, where a minute of silence will be held to honor Portuguese national men's team striker Diego Jota, who died in a car accident. UEFA has announced that a moment of silence will take place during all Women's Euro 2025 matches on Thursday and Friday in memory of Portugal international and Liverpool FC forward Diogo Jota and his brother Andrea Silva, who tragically lost their lives, the governing body of European football stated on Thursday. And finally in tennis, US 10 seed Emma Navarro easily defeated Veronika Kudermetova 6-1, 6-2 in just over an hour. For Sports Update, Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
And that is Nationwide for today. We thank you so much for being a part of it. I am Chinenye Ngoye.